Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and just this morning we just got the first trailer for Mission Impossible 8. I believe the title is actually called The Last Reckoning from what I've just checked, so that is very interesting. So if this movie is truly the final Mission Impossible movie, I mean, I can't even imagine just the hype that's going to be for it. I believe the movie comes out next year too, because I mean, it's coming, if the trailer's coming out now, that means coming out next year. But I will also say that this is a movie that, you know, if you've been following the filming for this film, there's been a lot of, let's say, delays and postponement. This movie, I believe, was supposed to have actually came out this year, but then things got shifted around. Then they removed the part 2 from the Mission Impossible 8 title. I think there were a lot of conversations about whether or not this was truly going to be the final movie of the Mission Impossible installment. And it could very well be the case now that we see the title, The Last Reckoning. Or it could just also be a reference to, you know, part 1. Who knows, right? We'll probably get a little bit more detail about it. So, but that being the case, I mean, the Mission Impossible franchises are probably one of the best things out there. I mean, I've been watching for quite some time now. I've been watching very close. I think I even took my family to go see Fallout because I like these free tickets. So, I think we can all say that just seeing the stunts and the work that goes into the fight sequences and how they're very realistic and practical really change our experiences of watching these movies. And I think that now that, you know, there is a chance that this could actually be the final installment for Tom Cruise, right? I mean, he is literally the face of this franchise. It's just a matter of, you know, just the clock ticking to maybe his final days as Ethan Hunt. Who knows? Maybe that might be the case. Maybe it might not be. We really don't know yet, right? I mean, we're probably gonna get a little bit more detailed as we get closer to the movie, and, you know, when Tom Cruise starts marketing and promoting the movie, that will give a little bit more of a tangible answer as to whether or not this could be it. But even that being the case, I do wonder what's going to happen. We know that he had the key. He managed to get the key from, I believe it was Gabriel, right? The villain from part 1. He got the key. Ilsa's dead. We know that. And now they're going to try and look for that Russian submarine. So I wonder what we're going to have out of this. I know that we had a lot of postponement out of this because of stuff that was going on with the filming. So, and I mean, I know that that has now concluded. So we're now finally getting close to the next Mission Impossible movie. So without further ado, let's get right down into watching the first trailer for Mission Impossible: The Last Reckoning. Okay.
Our lives are not defined by any one action. Our lives are the sum of our choices. Everything you are, everything you've done, has come to this.
When the need for certainty is absolute and the odds are deemed impossible, the mission falls to him.
Should he choose to accept?
For every life you tried to save,
She's alive. Okay.
you gambled millions more. And now the fate of every living soul on earth is your responsibility.
That's the pattern, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pattern.
You refuse to sacrifice the ones you hold close.
She's wrong?
You've always been on the right side, brother. I have no regrets. Neither should you.
Another
I
plane.
need you to trust me. One last time.
That was the trailer for Mission Impossible: The Last Reckoning, and we get, although it's very focused on the action and just the fact that this is essentially Ethan Hunt's legacy, there are some details that are twinkled in here. Now, I think right from the bat we can tell that this is a trailer that is focused on and honed on the fact that this is essentially his last mission. We can hear that in the overvoice. And this makes a lot of sense, right? Because this is the first trailer. First trailers don't typically give a lot of hints about what the story or the plot's going to be, although we kind of already know because they're going to try and look for that submarine, so they don't really have to let us know about that. But even that being the case, we know that this is given the impression that this could be the end of the run for Ethan Hunt. We even see right at the end of the trailer, he's telling them just trust him one last time. And you can see just the emotional factor with this trailer where, you know, you can see Ethan getting very personal with each of the characters that he's been with, especially those who's been with him for a long, long time. So that'll be Luther, that'll be Benji. I don't know about Grace. Grace is played by Haley Atwell because she just joined the team and she's essentially taking over Elsa's role. So I do question what that means about that. I do get the sense that they're probably going to be some sort of like romantic thing going on because there's always that kind of factor. I feel like, again, I'm coming as someone who was a big Elsa fan, and you cannot even imagine my devastation when I saw that they basically, you know, offed her character, because I was like, holy crap, she was literally one of the best supporting characters out there, especially one of the best female characters in this whole franchise. One that has managed to even go into a couple different movies, although there was Julia, but Julia was kind of more like a side character and then more so limited to a guest role. But Elsa was one of the best out there. So I don't know, there's still a part of me that still hopes that Elsa is still out there, and maybe something about the last movie isn't true. Who knows? I mean, I doubt it at this point, but I know a lot of us are still keeping out hope for that. But even that being the case, it's still very clear what's going on. You can see the relationships realign. I can't remember who Palm Clementine's character was, but you can see that her assassin character has now switched sides with Ethan Hunt because of what happened in the last movie. You know, her boss, I think, again, Gabrielle, I believe his name was, had betrayed her and, you know, almost left her to die, but then she actually turned out to have survived her wounds. So kind of very early to see the fact that we actually see her fate, because I don't think a lot of us knew what was going to happen. But now this trailer basically confirms that she made it through from her stab. So there's that. I think there's also a kind of a sense that there is kind of this catch and mouse game going on, because you can see so many different divisions right in the beginning of the trailer where there's so many different kinds of people trying to race to the actual submarine or just to get access to the key. So that is something. We're also seeing some very iconic, you know, stunts that we've seen with Tom Cruise before. We can see him with an airplane. I mean, that's not the first time he's done it. Whoops. That's not the first time he's done it. But loved seeing that we're getting a little bit of those callbacks of his previous stunts. So that's one thing. Although I feel like the main one's probably going to be the submarine. I don't think a lot of us had seen the submarine sequences, and I would imagine that those are very practical. So again, we only got snippets and bits and pieces of what this movie will entail in terms of the stunt work, in terms of the story, in terms of the high stakes for Ethan and his team. And I think this is probably the perfect way to do it, because again, we're not even in 2025, so why would you want to reveal so much of your material now when, you know, the movie doesn't even come out till summer. I believe it's summer of 2025. I have to double check the release date. I think it's coming out in July, but I have to double check. But I think this is a good way to kind of remind a lot of people that, you know, there's a lot of movies coming out in 2025. We are getting down to just the last bit of, you know, the slate for the 2024 movie schedule. We have November, we have December. There's a lot of big movies coming out. I know right now it's a little bit slow with the movie market. I know I was just at the movie theater this past week and there wasn't a lot of huge movies out, but I know Gladiator 2, which is coming out next week, and then we're going to have the movies like Moana 2, Mufasa, The Brutalist, Nosferatu. Those are going to be closing off the year. So what a way to really just, you know, end off the 2024 slate. And then we're going to have 2025 where we're going to have a lot of big movies coming out. So that'll be the 3 Marvel movies, Mission Impossible. I believe Wicked Part 2 is coming out the following year. So the following year being next year. So but yeah, I mean, this is a great way to kind of get people amped up for 2020, to get amped up for Mission Impossible. Again, I truly do wonder if this is actually the end for Ethan Hunt. I know there was a report a couple of months ago where I believe the director Christopher McKeary had mentioned before that they do plan to continue the franchise off. So I wonder what they mean by that. I can't remember if Tom Cruise himself had said anything about maybe doing a 9th movie or if there was reports about it. I feel like there could have been. It's been a while because I haven't been really getting a lot of Mission Impossible 8 updates on this, but I've been hearing that they're trying to at least continue it off, and I believe this franchise is under Paramount Plus. So, considering the fact that this is under Paramount Plus, I mean, this is one of their most profitable franchises that they do want to continue. So, I wonder what's gonna lie in the future of this franchise, because I mean, Ethan Hunt / Tom Cruise has always been the face of it. He has been the guy who has been carrying this whole franchise, and since Ghost Protocol, it has been really evolving, very thriving, because of the fact that it is one of those rare movies that does such a great job with the stunt work and the choreography and the fights, and doing so in a way that they're always very unique and different, and very much, high stakes and intense. So but yeah, I mean, we'll see about it. I mean, hopefully we'll get some response about whether or not this is truly the end of the run for the Mission Impossible franchise. I know we're kind of getting down to a period. I know a lot of big franchises that are ending. Like, I mean, another good example would be the Fast and Furious franchise, although I think there's a really good argument that needs to end for good. Just my opinion, but I feel like Mission Impossible is one that can still carry on for a couple more movies, but if they do truly want to end it off with their 8th film and maybe do like a spin-off or have someone else take over the franchise, I would not be surprised if that's something that they are considering as some potential option, especially because, again, we do have other characters who've been very involved in this franchise, like Luther, like Benji. We don't know whether or not this is going to tell something about Grace and Haley Atwell's future with the Mission Impossible franchise, and then what this would mean in terms of Tom Cruise's involvement. So we're just gonna have to watch and see what's going to happen, what the response is going to be, how they're gonna try and market this movie. Just because again, when you're looking at a title like that, The Last Reckoning, like, you wonder if that is implying that this is the end of the run for Ethan Hunt. He's gonna go into retirement or something. Is that what he is planning on doing, or is this just a response to Part 1? Because Part 1 was called Dead of Reckoning, right? So then, I mean, you got Reckoning on both titles. So is that just trying to respond to the Part 1? So we'll see about that. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the reports for it for sure. But let me know your thoughts having seen the first trailer for Mission Impossible, The Last Reckoning. Do you truly think this could be the end of the run for Tom Cruise's tenure in Mission Impossible franchise? If so, how do you think they're going to try and market this off? Like, I mean, or do you think for a fact that Tom Cruise will continue with the 9th installment, or will there be spin-offs, or someone else taking over the helm? What are your idea about it? What are your thoughts having seen, just the whole fight sequences and choreography and all that sort of stuff? I don't know if anyone realizes, but one thing I've noticed is that each and every movie we always see like a different haircut with Tom Cruise. So it's like we got the short hair, then the long hair, the short hair, the long hair, the short hair, long hair, and then I know the last movie he had the short hair, so now he has the long hair this time. I swear, there's always this pattern with these Mission Impossible movies. But what are your thoughts about the look right there? What do you think the actual meaning of The Last Reckoning really means? Like, do you think this is actually the end of the run for Ethan Hunt, or is this just a response to the fact that the first movie, or the Part 1, was called Dead Reckoning? And just any other thoughts and theories and things that you want to mention, let me know your thoughts below. Make sure to like and subscribe.